Hey, sports card fans, it's John, Boggs fan. Hope you're all doing well. Today I am doing a video response for Jason, MrFisherbike. He's celebrating finally reaching 1,000 subscribers to his channel. Jason, congratulations, well deserved. I myself reached the 1,000 subscriber mark about a month ago, and Jason has been on YouTube creating content for 12 years. I actually felt a little guilty reaching the 1,000 subscriber mark in less than 10 years ahead of Jason. For like the last at least year, he has been so close to reaching 1,000 subscribers and just couldn't cross that finish line. But Jason, now you have. Congratulations. And to celebrate, he is holding a contest. So what he wants us to do is put together a sports team lineup made up of YouTubers. We could pick any sport that we want. I'm going to go with baseball. So I'm going to put together a baseball lineup. Now, I decided to have a little fun with this. And Jason, I think you'll approve here. Rather than putting together a lineup of YouTubers based on maybe the player that they mainly collect and then try to put that player in their position and so on and make up a lineup of YouTubers' main player that they collect. I know a lot of YouTubers out there that don't necessarily focus on a particular player. They just enjoy collecting sports cards, whether it be vintage cards, modern cards, a mixture. So I actually went with the actual YouTuber. So I put together a baseball team, and actually, to be honest, it's probably more like a Saturday League softball team in which instead of second base, it's a keg. You know, just a group of guys that just go out, love the sport of baseball, but just like to go out and have some fun. So here is my lineup. All right, starting off with catcher. My understanding is this YouTuber actually, probably in Little League and maybe in high school or whatever, actually played catcher, and that's Mike Baseball Collector. At first base, I want to go with, I was thinking someone in the style of maybe like a Frank Thomas, stature that's, well built, maybe has some power, and, tall, that can reach out for those throws in the infield. And I'm going with Don's Field of Dreams cards. I think Don's like 6'7" or something like that. So I'm sure with a little stretching pre-game, he could reach for those throws from the infield to get the player out. For my second baseman, I'm going with John Mangini. Now, if you've watched his channel, his ability to do nunchucks is just amazing. So he has great hand-eye coordination. So I'm sure he'd barely strike out, put the ball in play. And with that, I know he works out, so I'm sure he would have the physical ability to turn the double play at second base. All right, for shortstop, I am going with Jason, MrFisherbike. Jason is a firefighter, which is a very physically demanding job. And he looks like he's in really good shape. And I think he could channel his inner Nomar Garcia-Pera, who he does collect, and could play a good shortstop. For my third baseman, I'm going with Lou Rock TV. Again, I think he's fairly athletic. He is in, I want to say he's in law enforcement or something like that. Again, very physically demanding job, so I think he could play a good third base. Now, for my left fielder, I actually had a choice of two YouTubers that I could put in left field. The one that I decided to go with is Ken's Cardboard. And the reason why I put Ken in third base, he may not have it now on his video intros, but at one point it shows him, I think, attending a Rockies, I'm trying to remember the word for it, sort of like a fan day where you actually get to practice in the field, take batting practice, things like that. And it looks like the image of him in the outfield is playing left field. So Ken, I have you as my left fielder. The other candidate for left field that I'm going to be putting in center field is Jake. Legends Never Die. And the reason why I know he plays left field is he gave me this custom card at this year's National. And I don't know if you can see it in the video here, but it actually says left field for FBC Stanley. So he actually plays in and I believe it's a softball league, Jake. You can correct me if I'm wrong. But he plays left field for his team. And actually, if you look at his stats, they're really impressive. So I'm thinking that you have pretty good speed and can cover a lot of distance. So I'm going to have you as my center fielder. Now, for right field, I'm going with my gut here. Seeing if this would be a good fit or not. If you watch G's Mikey's channel, you know his intro has him at, I believe it's Dodger Stadium, and looks like he's in right field, and he goes up to the right field wall and smashes into the right field wall and falls down. Now, to me, that shows grit and determination, willing to sacrifice yourself to go after the ball and run into the outfield wall. How good he is in actually catching the ball, I'm not sure. But he shows a lot of grit and determination there. So I'm going to have G's Mikey as my right fielder. All right, now for the starting pitcher. I wanted to go with someone who had just a presence on the mound. I'm thinking like Randy Johnson-esque. Someone that, you know, when you see them, tall in stature, just has that dominating feel to them. And I'm going with Bob Lewis. Bob is 6 foot something. He's a tall guy. And I just, when I thought of like a Randy Johnson, just Bob Lewis came to mind. So he's going to be my starting pitcher. In terms of a relief pitcher, I'm also looking for that dominant presence, that Eric Gagne, that Rob Dibble, is it Hal Nabrowski, the Mad Hungarian? Just someone that'll go out there at the end of the game and just have that big physical presence to scare the other team. And not that this individual is a scary person, actually he's a really nice guy. But I'm going with George, Diamond Yard Sports Cards. He's going to be my closer. All right, now for designated hitter. I wanted to go with someone that, you know, designated hitter, you want someone that you'd think you have some power to them and stuff. And I decided to go with Eric for Leaf Cards. I think Eric could, once he would get a hold of the ball, could send it a good distance. So, Eric, you're my designated hitter. All right, now you have to have some bench players on the team that can fill in. You know, you get a hammy pulled during the game. You get drink a little bit too much at second base at the keg. You know, you maybe need to insert another player there during the game. So I picked 4 players for my bench. And that's James, Elite Hunters, Dylan, Double D Vintage Baseball Cards, Al, Iconic Baseball, and Dom, Staven Sports Cards. So those are my fill-in bench players. I think, again, they could probably fill in anywhere on the team. Al, He's pretty tall as well. He could fill in for Bob Lewis at pitcher, first base possibly. Dom, Dylan, and James all seem to be, rather good shape and could fill in anywhere in the field. Now, obviously, since I'm putting this team together, I'm the team owner, but I wanted to have some role on the field and engaged in the game. Now, when I played Little League, I was not that good. Long story, but yeah, I was just not that good in Little League, even though I love the game. So I figured my role for the team could be bat boy and bench warmer. Now, I do have some experience in bench warming. In high school, I made the 7th and 9th grade junior varsity basketball team, believe it or not. And I think combined, those 2 years, I saw about 3 minutes of action. So I did a great job in warming up that bench for the other players. So I'm going to be the bat boy / bench warmer. All right, now, beyond the players, you need to have an organization around the team. So, as I said, I'm the overall owner because I'm putting this whole thing together, but you need a manager. You need someone that can keep all these crazy guys in line. And I went with a YouTuber that has a lot of knowledge of the game, the players, maybe a little focused in one particular decade, but still, I think, has a great general knowledge of players and the game, and that is John, that 70s Card Show. Of course, he focuses on the 1970s. Now, beyond the manager, you need to have a general manager. I went with someone who has a vast amount of knowledge within the hobby, particularly vintage cards. Now, how he would be able to manage this motley crew of a team and a manager would be, we'd have to see how that would go. But in terms of hobby knowledge, on the vintage side, I'm going with Dave, Blue Jacket 66. Now, to have a good team, you need to have a good playing field, ball field. So groundskeeping is key. So there happens to be a YouTuber that for a living is a groundskeeper and does a great job for the Los Angeles Dodgers, and that is Pepino Man. However, Pepino Man, I have a second role for you to play, and I think you would be up to the task for this additional role. We're going to need a mascot. We're going to need someone that goes around and gets the crowd excited for the team. And if you wanted to, I don't think there would be any objection for you to actually do the groundskeeping in between the innings while you're in the mascot uniform. Just a thought. So, groundskeeper and mascot, Pepino Man. Now, in order to get the fans in the stands, you need to have someone in sales and marketing. And so I went with Scott Reindeer Studios. I think he'd be able to put some promotional stuff together that would get the crowd coming to see the team play. And then finally, on the data analytics side, so to speak, Scorekeeper, Statistician, just, keeping track of the stats of all the players. And so on, I went with Victor, the rookie card specialist. So there is my baseball / Saturday League softball team made up of various YouTubers in this community. I will have a link to all of these YouTubers' channels in the description of this video. Jason, thanks for the great contest idea. I had a lot of fun with it. Hopefully all of those that I've mentioned on my team enjoy their selection. But yeah, and again, Jason, regardless of the contest, congratulations on reaching 1,000 subscribers. Actually, I had planned on sending you a care package, and I just hadn't got around to it. And then now that you've hit 1,000 subscribers, I'm going to be sending out a care package to you as sort of a congratulatory gift for reaching 1,000 subscribers. So hopefully I'll get that out in the mail fairly soon here. So yeah, would love to know your thoughts on my lineup. So until next time, thanks for watching.